Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another video. And in part 1 of my Christmas special, I'm going to be reviewing the Ed, and Eddy Christmas episode Jingle Jingle Jangle, which released back in December of 2004. And a little backstory for this video. For the past couple weeks I've been talking about how I wanted to review the South Park Woodland Critters Christmas episode on Christmas Day, and that's still going to happen, but on the live stream this past Saturday, we were talking about our favorite Christmas movies and Christmas specials, and the Ed, and Eddy Christmas special came up, and it's been years since I even, mentioned Ed, and Eddy or even heard about it, so I said, I gotta go back and watch this, because Ed, and Eddy, for those that don't know, was a classic cartoon that aired on Cartoon Network with the likes of, Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Laboratory, and the Powderpuff Girls, and Courage the Cowardly Dog, so many great classics that aired back in like the late 90s. I think Ed, and Eddy started in 99 and ran till I want to say like 07 or so. And Cartoon Network had cartoons every Friday night with all these great shows. And then of course after school Monday through Friday they had Toonami with Dragon Ball Z and Gundam and all sorts of great stuff. But anyway, that's a topic for another video. So the premise of Ed, and Eddy, for those that don't know, is it follows the three Eds. Ed with one D, who is sort of like this jamoke. He's like this big oaf, like, hey, I'm there, and when he's super strong. You have Ed with two Ds, also known as Double D, who, I can't ever really, I could never tell what was on Double D's head. Was that a hat, or was that his hair? I don't know. But he's sort of like the most intelligent of the Eds, and always trying to do the right thing, like the goody two-shoes, and you get the sense of that in the Christmas special here. And then, of course, you have Eddy, who is the de facto leader of the group, and is just always trying to scheme his way through things, and always come up with plans, because, in each episode, their plan was to get enough money to get Jawbreakers. I think they were like a quarter, and they're always trying to raise money with all their scams, or steal them, or whatever, to get their Jawbreakers. And then it would turn out they would get the Jawbreakers, and then they would lose them at a certain point in the episode. But anyway, they have their little hijinks. Then you have the other side characters, like you have Ed's sister Sarah. You have Jimmy, who's this weirdo who walks around this piece of wood who he calls Plank, and he talks to. You have Jimmy, the kid with the braces, who's another sort of little goody two-shoes. You have the character named Kevin, just like me, who is sort of like the popular kid, and the one who's always causing the most trouble for the Eds. And then there's also Naz, who's like the hot girl that they're all after. And also the Kanker sisters, who are in love with the Eds. But anyway, as for the Christmas special, it starts with Eddy looking under the tree as his parents are leaving. And then, of course, the presents aren't there. I'm assuming it's Christmas Eve. And the parents leave. You see the car drive off. So he goes and looks in the closet, can't find any presents, goes to all the usual hiding spots, and eventually makes his way over to the attic, where he finds like a creaking board in the floor and removes it and finds all the presents. And he starts at first he unwraps them so like, gently. He rips the tape up and just neatly folds the paper. And the first gift is like a sweater vest. And he's going through all the gifts, and he's got like a sweater vest, a tie, all this stupid stuff that he doesn't like. Like he's expecting toys, maybe even Jawbreakers, video games, whatever. And it's all closed, and he's just distraught by it. And then you see the mess of all the wrapping papers destroyed in the boxes. So, he runs off like, who needs parents? I'm just going to go be adopted by one of the other kids and steal their presents. So it cuts over to Ed, and his house is all decked out in decorations. And in his room, he has the chair all set up for Santa. Like he's got the carton of milk on the armrest. He's got the cookies. He's got like this drawing like, sit here, Santa. And he has like super strength. He picks up the fireplace and it makes like this giant hole in the roof as he's bringing the fireplace into his room. Oh, here's the tree, Santa. Come down the chimney. And he like sticks his head through the chimney looking for Santa Claus. And then his sister Sarah shows up. What are you doing, Ed? Make sure my stocking gets hung up as well. So, Ed's just sitting there impatiently waiting for Santa Claus, and then Double D shows up knocking on his window with a poinsettia. Like I said, Double D is sort of, the most intelligent and the most thoughtful of the Eds. and Ed invites him in, and like Double D's all bundled up in all these coats, and like he pulls them through the window. All the coats fall off. It's pretty crazy. And so Eddy, basically, he runs through and he just busts through the window and is looking for Ed's presents, and of course they're not there yet because Ed's waiting for Santa, and Eddy's just complaining like, oh, I opened all my gifts and they all suck. And Double D's like, that's not the point of Christmas. And I gotta say, there is a good moral here for young kids who watch this. I don't know if this like ever airs anymore on Cartoon Network or what. And it was difficult to find this because it's not any streaming service. There's some clips on YouTube, but not the full episode. You gotta like search and go through different sites to find this if you want to watch it. But anyway, good message, especially from Double D, saying, that's not the point of Christmas. The point of Christmas is about spending time with those who you love and, giving gifts to others, not receiving them. That's the whole point. So Eddy's not having it, and that's where he decides he's going to go for adoption. And at first, he makes his way to, I think it's Jimmy's house. And that's the kid of Mr. Plank, or not Mr. Plank, but just Plank, the plank of wood. And he's there, scheming, trying to get gifts. And Jimmy's pretend to be Jack Frost. And he keeps like grabbing his nose, like, oh, Jack Frost nipped your nose, Eddy. And he sends him off because he sees through his plans. But before that happens, it cuts over to the Canker sisters who see like the North Star glowing in the distance, and they go off looking for it, and eventually they make their way at the end. But Eddy's going to all the different houses. He makes his way to Rolf's house, who is like the foreign exchange student. And funnily enough, voiced by Peter Kalamis, who voiced Goku in the Ocean dub of Dragon Ball, and like the first few episodes up to Rikum that we saw in America that aired on Cartoon Network as well. But Rolf doesn't celebrate Christmas and instead has all these like sausages hanging from his house, and he's like making this great feast, and he starts singing a song to Eddy, and Eddy's like, all right, let's just do this because maybe this is his Christmas. And, afterward, Eddy's like, all right, so where's the presents? What presents? There are no presents here. So then he leaves, and then makes his way over to Jimmy's house. And Jimmy, he's like the little kid with the braces. And he doesn't have any gifts quite yet, but instead has all these gingerbread houses and all these cookies. And Jimmy goes to the bathroom or something. He goes off screen for a minute. He has to find something. And Eddy eats all his gingerbread houses. And Jimmy starts screaming. And Sarah, Ed's sister's there, and beats him up and kicks him out. And then eventually the next house that Eddy goes to is Naz, the hot girl that they're all after. And she's there like in this Christmas sweater. And she's like, oh, Eddy, you know what they say with the mistletoe? And what happens, he's in the middle of having a drink of eggnog. And, they all like her. Because I remember they've been other episodes where they're all vying for her. And, he's taking a sip of eggnog, and he sees her pull out the mistletoe, and he spits the eggnog out at her. And so then she kicks him out. And then finally he makes his way over to Kevin's house, and Kevin's not having it, but he decides to give him a present. And so Eddy opens the present, and it's his fist goes right to the box and hits him and sends him on his way. So Eddy wanders off and eventually finds the tree that's in the center of town, and one of the lights is out, and he has this replacement bulb in his pocket. Ed actually put it in there early in the episode. And so he replaces the light bulb, and the tree starts growing really bright, and everyone makes their way there. You have Ed, who's dressed like a manger, and Double D as an angel, and they make their way there, and Double D gives the whole speech like, oh, this is the spirit of Christmas. You gave the light to the tree, and see, that's what it's all about. And, there's a good message there. And then eventually the Santa Claus sleigh goes by. They drop the sack of presents. And, of course, Eddy's the first one in there and sees all the presents. They're all addressed to all the kids. It's got all their names on it. But Eddy takes it for himself. And there's this funny line, too, of Eddy, like, these are my presents. And then Ed keeps trying to grab the sack. And he's like, it's Santa's sack! Give me back Santa's sack! And just the way he says it is hilarious. But I had a great time watching it. And also at the end there, the Canker sisters show up, and they're all wearing crowns similar to the three wise men, and they're all bearing gifts for them. The one has moldy bread, the other has like pennies, and then the other has a fur coat, and they put a sign outside the shed that says, don't open until next Christmas. and they start like trying to make, they're like, oh, we're gonna give you a Christmas kiss and not on the cheeks too, and you hear the Eds all screaming and like the smooching, and it ends with all the other kids singing like, oh, deck the halls with bells of holly, fa la 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 la. They start singing, and that's how it ends. So this was a lot of fun going back to rewatch this. Like I said, we were talking about this during the live stream, our favorite Christmas specials, and Ed and Eddie was brought up. So I decided I'm going to go rewatch it and, just share my thoughts on it. And I wanted to show you, because on YouTube you can search it, and, there's a playlist and some clips, but not the whole episode. Like this is the song with Rolf Yeshmayik. That's this is like this beast that's making all these meats for Rolf for where he's from. This is the end there with the cankers showing up, like they're fighting over Santa's sack, right? And the cankers show up and start smooching them. Ed, yeah, like Ed's all enthusiastic for Christmas. Oh, that's the scene too. Double D says to Ed, Christmas comes from the heart, and puts his hand on on Ed's heart, and he's like, that's not my heart, that's my udder. And oh man, it's a good episode. I really enjoyed it. Definitely worth watching. Like I said, it's not on YouTube, and it's not on any kind of streaming service, so you're gonna have to like search, and you'll find it. But that's all I gotta say for this video. So thanks everybody. Merry Christmas. This is up on Christmas Eve, so hopefully you guys come back tomorrow. I'm gonna post my review for the South Park Woodland Critters Christmas special, which is, it's gonna be like sacrilegious to post that on Christmas Day, but I'm gonna post it anyway. It's all good. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, whatever. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for watching, and spread that holiday cheer.